Oh my goodness. Good day to everyone.
Good morning.
We started a new thing where we don't know when we're going to publish what we've recorded, so whenever this finds you, I hope you're having a great part of your day.
Mm-hmm. Could be the AM, could be the PM. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
What
are we talking about today, Jenna?
Well, Colin, since you've asked, I was thinking about
zero rehearsal, by the way, guys. I don't know if you could tell, but that was pure natural.
That was yeah.
That's what we call flow state.
I was thinking about this. I should put on like some sort of I can't call it an accent, but some sort of way of speaking that sounds very Anchorman like. Well, Colin, thank you for asking this morning. Something like that. It would be
I'm picturing
even more goofy.
I'm Tom Brokaw. Like the transatlantic. I'm picturing Archer.
Yes.
Hello, it's the 1930s.
Yeah, exactly.
We'd like what's he say? We'd like a brown nickelback. And watch out for that Hitler. He's a bad
egg. Watch out for that Hitler. Yeah, that would be good. What was with that transatlantic accent, anyways?
I feel like probably wanted to a time or two in the past, but
definitely. I'm willing to bet we repeat ourselves a ton.
Never. We are fastidious and meticulous with our note taking. For those who aren't watching, I did the side eye like.
I took some notes. I did some notes. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely repeat ourselves. I cut you off. I apologize.
Oh no! You know what? I think this is going to be better than our audio recording from recent times. Because that audio recording, I think we talked over each other 1,000 times. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like at a certain level that becomes it would appear to be unprofessional. But I kind of don't care. I kind of feel like, whatever. It's a little funny. These snafus happen. It's whatever, like water off a duck's back.
Totally.
All right.
Okay, so I don't want to take full credit, so I'm going to say it's our idea. Our idea for today was to discuss our journeys through mental health, the highs, the lows, and the takeaways, i.e., the systems in which that we've applied to be able to function with the brains that we have. So, Colin, you've been officially diagnosed with ADHD, yes?
I think so.
Yeah,
I can't
remember. This is part of the diagnosis. Is shit in one ear out the other, and then I've got all kinds of quirks. I don't know what they are. I could get them tested. Not that I don't want to. I just know that it's like a very long process. And part of the way my brain works is like avoiding that whole thing.
Yeah. All the barriers. You just see all the obstacles in the way. And it's
totally.
Overwhelming.
Yeah. So I'm in the place where I'm not prepared to do that at the moment. But I know that I got something. I don't know if it's autism. I don't know if it's the ADHDs. I don't know if it's a combination of those things. Maybe OCD in there. I definitely have anxiety, and I've definitely suffered from depression. So I think our thought today was like getting into that. And then also, I don't want to say I went through this journey of getting off my meds, but I don't know what else to call it. I tried to
I think it's called weaning.
Yeah, I tried to wean off my existing...
Is that too heavy a term for the time?
No. I tried to wean off my meds in the hopes of trying a different kind that would hopefully work, because after taking meds for 5 years, the same medication for 5 years, I was feeling like it was no longer working, which is, I think, common. I think this is like known to happen, like over time our bodies adapt and become used to whatever it is. And like the anxiety meds I was on and I'm still on, so we'll get into that, but yeah, that's just part of it. Like over time you're gonna sort of numb, and they don't necessarily work the same, or maybe they just don't feel like they work the same. Yeah. And I know that you went through a big journey with this too. So I'm hoping, yeah.
So what
Tell
I
us
want
your
to do
story.
first of all,
Yeah.
I want to start saying the word quest.
Quest. Ooh, I
I
like
think
that.
quest just sounds a little bit more adventurous, a little bit more fun.
Super
I think
positive. Yeah.
journey's a little played out, and it's very like, I just need to butch it up a bit, a little.
Yeah. Okay.
I got to
Okay.
talk about this as a quest. I'm
A
slaying some
quest.
slay. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
those
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
TikToks, or you ever see those ones?
No.
It's like my daughter's room, and it's like it pans around, and it's like Hello Kitty
Mm-hmm.
blankets and stuff, and a perfect little makeup table with everything neat and organized, and then it's like happy, precious, cute songs and music, whatever, and then
Yeah.
it transitions to the other part of her room, and she's got like Chucky posters and dolls and Bride of Chucky and Wednesday Addams everywhere, and it's like slay your enemies. Like I really feel like that's I feel like that's at least my daughter. She's
Mm-hmm.
very, I won't say two-faced. That's a little unfair,
That
maybe.
sounds
I think
like it sounds negative. It sounds like a negative thing, but I know what you're trying to say. She has two very distinct interests.
and she can
She,
access either of them,
yeah,
uh, like, yeah, and channel that part of her
yeah.
personality so
It's
fast.
like when we say things can be two things.
Yeah, yeah,
She can like cute, soft, cuddly Hello Kitty, and then also
slay
goth shit.
dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's a personal quirk of mine. I'm just gonna say
Sure.
quest,
Yeah.
my quest, and I'll say this. I think there's a point in time where I don't know. Some people have to quest, some people don't have to quest.
Okay.
I think that's pretty simple. So if you've been questing,
Mm-hmm.
and like we'll consider this sort of like the player's handbook kind of thing. Like we're just gonna sprinkle in some tips and
Yeah,
tricks
we're
on what to look out
definitely the
for
authority on
on your quest.
this.
Well, it's easy to say
No
that because we got
pressure.
no like official qualifications or anything
Zero.
in this subject
Zero.
matter, other than our quest notes
I would
that
argue
we.
you have more knowledge based on the fact that you did a psychology degree. I'm hoping that that helped form a little bit of information about how the brain works, but also when you're 20, how well are you listening in university? Not so
And I
good.
went to Army University.
Army
So
University.
yeah, I
So
know
it's
that one
better.
gets a. Well, a lot of people think it's worse because it's because it's the Army University, but I think it was just fine. Um, I'll say this: I don't think a
Mm,
bachelor's degree separates the field of our generation. I think most people are either.
totally. Yeah. Fair. Fair.
The point of the bachelor's degree is to get you thinking differently,
Mm-hmm.
and I think by this stage in our lives, most people who are successful are already, whether they went
Thinking.
to university or not. I think we're all thinking the same. We're all critical. We're all trying to look at things from different angles and understand them before we quest out in the wrong direction and
Totally.
try to, you know what I mean, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, quest. I'll say we won't have to go into great detail. I think the spirit of this episode is I know personally for me the winter is very much a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the peaceful, the quiet, the solitude of like everything covered in snow, and it's just kind of nice and
Yeah.
cozy.
Yeah.
But then, because of that, like the daytime, I fucking hate. It's desolate. It's bleak. It's cold. It's windswept. I just want to stay inside. So I know personally for me, like if I'm gonna get depressed, it's gonna happen in the coming months. So you kind of just gotta
Yeah.
build a couple of warm little cozy fires you can snuggle up to, kind of thing.
Get a nice sad light going.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's going. I don't think it's going to go that way this year. I think I've kind of pushed through a few of those barriers that we were talking about earlier, and I
Mm-hmm.
think I just have a bit of a better appreciation for things, a better understanding, and I'm able to not get sucked into that little voice inside your head that kind of drags you down a little bit.
100%. That's like one of my main talking points. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Like if you've got it, let's
No,
hear it.
I was gonna ask, what, like, do you think you've sort of fortified yourself coming into winter this year differently than you have in the past, and or just what's different? Why do you feel like this year is it's not going to get you?
I think the problem for me this time of year is it really, really reinforces the monotony of day-to-day life.
Okay.
And that sounds super negative, and it's not
There's
meant
no
to be.
distractions. Is that what you mean?
It's like I'm just stating how things appear to me.
Okay.
I'm not saying this is factual for everyone or whatever, but
yeah. I would like to
feel,
say that about everything we're talking about on this podcast.
Yeah, huge disclaimer. Yeah. I think people appreciate that already. Yeah. But I think it bears repeating every now and again just to reinforce that.
Yeah.
So I find that, you know, where we're at in life right now is very repetitive. And that repetition can be a good thing. Like, there's a lot of benefits to it. I enjoy understanding and knowing sort of by and large what my week's going to look like, what my month's going to look like, or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
But at the same time, like, it's all the things that I don't like are still there on a repetitive basis.
Okay.
Like, so I'm just like, if I'm just taking a quick snapshot of a memory, I'm thinking of things like fighting with my kids to eat their supper, or dealing with attitude issues. I don't want to take a bath. We're in a really tricky time right now too, because we're just coming off of the holiday season and going back to school and work. So everyone's routines and expectations are out of sorts. So I'm kind of taking a step into this, like going north of the wall kind of thing, already on the wrong foot, because we're dealing with overwhelmed kids who are trying to figure out, we got to get back to normal. So I can't have chocolate anytime. Like, we were really
that's really
we were
rough.
low and
that
loose
was rough.
with them. Yeah, we were low and loose all holidays. Like, especially when we were in Mexico. Like, I mean, we'd go get coffee and ice cream in the morning. Like, that was our morning routine. The kids loved it, but it's hard to come back from that when you're 6 and 8, right? So everyone's in that post holiday dopamine dump. Whether you suffer from ADHD or not, we're all there. And so anyway, bottom line is,
there's like, they talk about this with a lot of like big life events in general. I remember somebody warning me that, like, after Jordan and I got married, that I would experience this, and I 100% did, because there's like, for kids, imagine like the buildup that happens coming into Christmas every year. You're just like, oh my God, this amazing thing. Like, yours was maybe a little bit different, but I think there was a different kind of buildup for your kids. And like you said, you guys were like rolling every day, like, not like everything was fun. It was, I'm sure it felt like for them a yes day every day, right? Like, it was fun.
They hated that we wouldn't take the elevators every time, but it was one floor. It took longer to wait for the elevator than it took. So.
You're like, guys, this is just about efficiency at this point. So sorry, but continue. I feel like you were on a roll.
I think you hit on a really interesting point, and I think that would be one of the things that, if you're going into a season, it's understanding that there's no constant up.
Never. No. And that's
why
would you want that?
Like, you just be, that's literally what bipolar is. You're manic for years, and then you're so exhausted. Like, we've all felt a little bit of social fatigue. Sometimes it's on the low end. Like, I just really, I'm desperately trying to hold it together in this work conversation because I have to behave this way.
Okay.
All the way to, like, your kids are annoying the fuck out of you, and you kind of just like snap a little, like, shut the fuck up.
It sometimes hits you in ways that you don't expect, and I think sometimes it creeps up on you, because you could be, like you said, going through your daily routine or daily life, and the things are just compounding, and you don't even have the time to distance yourself from those events to be like, hey, I feel triggered right now.
Right? Yeah.
To give yourself the moment to be like, the next thing that comes up is going to send me right over the edge. You don't have time to even think about that. And so when your kid comes up to you and is like, I need help with whatever, you're just like, oh, this was the thing. So
don't you think it's weird that and I just thought of this while you were saying that,
Yeah.
is that we always think we can go a little bit further.
Yes.
We always think we can last
What
a
is
little bit
that?
longer, and then we fucking snap.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, I'm sorry, I need to go deal with myself, and then I'll come back. And now I got to apologize to the kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
I broke 3 things ago. Yeah. I should have.
I broke 3 things ago.
Yeah.
And that might be
a good one. Okay, sorry. I've interrupted you 1,000 times, but you were getting on.
It's just our dance, you know. It's how we do it. I think that's really interesting. I think having the presence of mind,
mm-hmm.
and this is okay. My brain loves these kinds of conversations because now I get to just have all of the thoughts and ideas in my head, and I can just pull them all into one thing, which is being present. If you want to, if you have the Sunday scaries, or the Monday blues, or seasonal affective disorder, whatever it is, just remember, like,
or all of those things,
or it's all compounding. But in every single instance, your brain is not in the now, which sounds all woo woo, but you're either worried about something that's happened and trying to predict consequences that haven't come to pass and likely won't, or you're worried about what's to come, which is an impossible thing to predict. Kind of ties into what we were just talking about. Like, every time our nerves are about to get shot, we're like, no, I'm strong, I can do this, I can last a little bit longer. But the strength isn't pushing through. The strength is being like, okay, let me take a step back, babe. Can you step in for a second? I gotta go punch a pillow, I'll be right back.
Yeah. The strength is in the discomfort for a lot of things, and like having the courage to say, I'm not okay right now, actually, and this is really hard, and I need help. I think that's real courage, right? We paint courage as a picture of like strong, unfailing, unstoppable, never ending. What
I'm unstoppable. Yeah.
But
channel your inner Sia and just fucking get through it. But I mean, sometimes powering through is the answer. And
sometimes you have to power through. Yeah.
I would classify that as emergency response.
Yes.
Like, people are in danger. That's when that's when it's okay to power through, because your body will let you do that.
Can I share an example that just came to mind just now?
Yeah, of course.
A moment when I had to power through this year and I really just wanted to break down and cry. Can you guess what it is? You were there. When we were camping, and we were paddling back, and the waves were like unreal. It was like choice waves for surfing, probably, but I didn't like it at all, and I
was fraught. I was in the same boat, so to speak. Yeah. I mean, like,
I was like, we will capsize. I was like, and I don't know how we're gonna get out of it, because I was like, when we capsize, I can't save the bags, so those are gone. And it will be a struggle to just stay above water and not drown, even though I had a life jacket on and like
tight.
It was fine. So tight. Yeah, I was like,
maybe you were panicking because you had it on like a corset and you couldn't fucking breathe.
I couldn't breathe. Yeah, that was the real problem.
Just hyperventilating the whole paddle.
But yeah,
that was a rough paddle.
It was, but it was one of those moments, as you're describing, where like you have no other choice. Because I could have been like a pouty baby and been like, I'm not paddling anymore. But then that would have made things worse. So the thing you can do in those moments is keep going, right? So I think that's an illustration for the folks listening of like times when powering through is beneficial, but like oftentimes
it's like, worth the discomfort.
Yeah. But there's other times where like it's not worth the discomfort.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you can just like, this doesn't need this kind of energy from me. I do this all the time.
Okay.
When I don't do it I used to do this all the time.
I don't do it anymore.
Not so much.
Yeah.
It still happens on occasion, but there's those moments where you kind of get sucked into the energy your kids are spitting at you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're at work and someone's having an ugly conversation with
It's
you,
like
and
a
you're like,
tornado, and you're getting looped into it.
It used to be like I would fight fire with fire. I didn't even realize I was meeting this, and people don't realize. I've had many conversations with people where I'm like, you don't realize how you sound to me right now.
I think there's a very much a disconnect between what people think they sound like and what they're actually saying.
And so I'm responding in kind, and they hear that, so they think I'm just being an asshole. I'm like, no, brother, like I'm just meeting your energy.
Yeah.
And so it's gotten me into trouble a few times, and then you have kids and you realize like, oh, you're just falling for the bait. So you can take a step back and you be like, this doesn't require any energy from me at all.
Right.
Just because they're not listening, just because we're going to be late, just because they won't eat their supper. Like, none of these are good reasons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You need to take another step back and go, why do I care this much?
Yeah.
That I'm going to fucking... So I've been really good at just like mentally separating myself from whatever I'm doing.
Oh, that's good.
And then there are times too where you got to... I do
so, just to pick your brain, what do you do? Like, are you doing anything physically in those moments? Is this all just a mental game? Is it you've developed enough self-reflection to be able to say, hey, this is where it ends. Like, I'm not putting up with my own bullshit.
Now.
Yeah. You're able to recognize the situation. Like, what sort of things have helped you identify those instances and better... in the end, you're better supporting your kids. You're behaving in a way that maybe aligns more with the kind of parent you want to be. Like, how did this happen?
I mean, so many good questions. I'll say this: change takes time. You can't just decide to be a different way and then get mad at yourself every time you aren't that way.
Yeah.
So you have to have a... I mean, I use the word grace a lot these days.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to grace. You have to give yourself grace too, right? You have to let yourself step into these new expectations. You have to practice them, because the real problem is identifying what it is you're trying to avoid. So, for example, so the change is one of those things that I would say is like a top tip for this time of year.
That would be like a big one.
A big one, yeah. Just give yourself time.
Yeah.
But put in the effort to be more and more consistent. So what that means is try hard, but don't kick yourself. And this is something that I think that we, like, our generation has done from day one, is we integrate other people's expectations into ourselves. And then all through school, athletics, academics, careers, social engagement, anytime we don't meet these weird
pretend expectations,
we get so down on ourselves. So I mean, ignore other people's expectations and just try to meet your own.
Right.
But don't do it in such a way that you're the same people that gave you those unrealistic expectations.
Yeah. And I think your key word there is try. Like, we're not
just trying. No,
we aren't perfect. I think we've all identified humans are not perfect. And then trying, the effort is the most important part. No?
Well, and if we're being really philosophical about it, like, the effort is the only part that matters. It doesn't actually matter if, I mean, this is going to sound weird, and I'd be happy to have a discussion with people, but it almost doesn't matter if you do it or not. I'm trying really hard not to be a murderer, but I still murdered. That's a bit of an in extremis example. So don't come back at me with that. But my point is, like, we know that we can't ever get to that point where we're done, where we're perfect, where all that jazz. So
there's no end to perfectionism. Like, it's...
Well, and there's no end. There's no
finish line.
Yeah, there's no finish line. So just put in a good effort and then enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Like, just let go of your expectations. Stop trying to do whatever. Like, if these two things are true, you'll get where you're going.
Yeah.
If you're honest with yourself about what you want,
Oh, that
and why
one's
you
really
want it.
hard for people.
Yeah. And
I
then
think that's really hard.
if you're just every day, you're a little consistent daily, like
Right.
eventually you'll get there.
Yeah.
It's you can't interrupt that if you do those two things. Because
Mm-hmm.
number one, you'll hold your vision, which is important.
Mm-hmm.
We forget that you can look forward,
Yeah.
and instead of being depressed about or anxious about what could happen, you just
Mm-hmm.
hold that vision. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just working towards this. And it doesn't look like, every day you're making progress towards it, but it's baby steps. And you've got all the time in the
Yes.
world.
Yes.
You got all the time in the world.
I think
But wait,
I was. Oh, sorry.
you asked me a question. I didn't answer it.
Mm, I was
It was
asking kind of not what are the steps, but like,
so, yeah.
how did you get to this one realization that things weren't, and I didn't word it this way originally, but I think I'll reword it. Like, how did you get to being able to identify that these things were happening? And then what are kind of the steps that you've been taking towards being able to stop in those moments, like see almost like third, uh, what's, oh God, in
Like
writing,
order.
there's like, you're able
Oh,
to see from the outside perspective, third person
perspective. Yeah.
perspective. Is that what it's called? And you're able to, I think this is what you're doing. You're able to kind of like assess the situation and be like, okay, I
It's
want to react in a way that aligns with my parenting. I want to talk to my kids in a certain way. I want them to receive this kind of message, and I don't want to kick myself for it afterwards.
I
And
love
wish
that you
I'd done
said
it different.
address, because
Or is that just me?
no, I'm shocked that because I wrote down the three things that I think are what I do, and I'll
Okay.
explain the how. But
Yeah.
I wanted to write repair the problem, but I scratched out
Ah.
repair and wrote address, and then you said address, because I think it's important. It's if you I think
Repair denotes it's broken.
yes.
Whereas when what you said is address, there's no problem. There's no broken.
Yeah.
There's no. It's just we're dealing with this situation,
Mhm.
and as part of our quest, we
Yeah, you
want
got a
to.
quest.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a noble quest. Yeah, there's no room
yeah.
for these kinds of self-pitying feelings. But
Yeah.
so the first thing, I had to identify the problem, I had to address the problem, and then I had to respond appropriately. Those are the big issues. The
It's like writing an essay.
Yeah, the problem is a lot of things,
Mhm.
and it's different things for different people. For me, the biggest thing that contributed to my awareness that things weren't right is Cassie, I had a lot of conversations, and I have to give her a lot of credit, because it was I imagine it was scary for her to talk about some of the things that she was feeling, knowing the state I was in.
Mhm.
And for just transparency's sake, I was not very mentally well.
Mhm.
I wasn't my usual self. I wasn't, the way I kind of frame it shortly is, I wasn't very nice to my kids.
Okay.
So I wasn't giving them the space to be who they needed to be. I was kind of, I see a lot of similarities to how I was behaving. This is a very small window of time in the grand scheme of things, probably a couple months, maybe a year all told, but there was like a core of
from start to finish, but there was like a low.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. A very low lull. And I wasn't like a bad person, but I wasn't behaving. I wasn't well, you know what I mean? I
Okay.
wasn't myself. And
Would you say that you weren't behaving in a way that you are like, I'm probably not going to say this properly, so forgive me. But like the kind of parent and kind of spouse you want to be was not how you were behaving at that time. Is that kind of where you found yourself?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I might not have said it that way.
Okay.
Just for lack of like not truly being able to step all the way back and seeing the forest for the trees kind of thing.
And see it at that time. Okay.
I think that was my real struggle, was just
Yeah.
getting sucked into the weeds of like these voices.
And were you like,
yeah, just the
stuck
blinders
here.
on.
Yeah.
Letting everything stress me out instead of it just being a thing. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So I just, and
Coping
that's what I
tools
mean.
and
Like,
mechanisms were not in play. Yeah.
well, and I didn't really have a whole lot because
They left the chat, so to speak.
yeah, BRB, and then they
Yeah.
ghosted you.
Yeah. And then you had to build new ones. Or
Mhm.
so you got to build new ones? Is that possible?
Yeah, got to. Well, I think for me, what I've learned throughout all of this is
Okay,
like, and
wait.
this is my point. Like,
You were in the
go ahead.
middle of telling us that Cassie was being very brave for talking to you about issues that you were having at the time. I don't want to
And
derail you.
what I'm trying to say really is that for the listeners, you might, you know, it's hard to imagine when someone's talking about something like this, just what degree of intensity or severity we're discussing.
Yeah.
And I mean to say anything that makes you uncomfortable, you should address.
Yeah.
Anything that you're not happy with, you should take some time and think about it and understand why it makes you unhappy.
And be like,
For
hey,
me,
wait, why? But why?
mhm,
Yeah.
that whole bit of understanding, to taking the time, it's like that's what really was drawn out through my couple years in therapy, was really
Mm.
just, I tried a counselor in Petawawa at first, and my big thing was I need to understand why this is happening, why
Okay.
I'm thinking these things, or I had a lot of negative thought spirals. So like, this isn't earth-shattering stuff. I wasn't like, you know, physically or sexually abused or anything like that, but I grew up in a very chaotic environment, and that had
Mm-hmm.
some lasting impact. So
I
you
would
don't
argue a
think,
lot of us were
yeah,
in similar places. So I think this can echo and relate to people a lot because it is
I would say
the
everyone.
common experience. Yeah.
And we've talked about this a lot, but I
Mm-hmm.
really think, and this is what I'm trying to get at, is a lot of people listening might not think that they have things to address,
Sure. Yeah.
but they likely do. And
Yeah.
I'll put it this way, like, right about the time my kids were the age I was at, I suppose,
Mm-hmm.
when things were most chaotic
This is
in
when
my
things
house,
come up. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
started to unravel, right? Because
Yeah.
now I'm falling on old default mode networks of how my brain and my nervous system handled problems. Now the problems were swapped now. Instead
Mm-hmm.
of me being the kid who needed my parents, now I'm the parent who my kids need.
Mm-hmm.
So it made it even messier. But all I'm saying is uh, if you struggle with mental health, or if you think you have, anxiety, depression, whatever, like,
Mm-hmm.
do yourself a favor and just sit down and kind of think about it, and ask yourself, when I was a kid, and this is one of the things I believe in, I think most of our issues stem from childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can rewind all the way back there and kind of reverse engineer it, that's what I was saying. Like, this counselor in Petawawa made
Mm-hmm.
me believe that the understanding part didn't really matter. Looking back, I can
Oh.
see he was trying to get me to focus on not letting the triggers or the problems kind of control or dictate moving forward. He had 10 sessions to get me to tools and coping mechanisms. It
To
was
start
sort
to
of like
finish. Yeah.
triage kind of thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
which kind of, it was good, but at the
He
same
knew
time,
he had a quest on which to guide you.
mhm,
And he was guiding you from step 1 to step 10 in these 10 sessions. And he knew that after, probably, I'm assuming it was like, this is all you get the 10 sessions with me, that's
yeah,
it. So he was like, I know I have to send you out back into the world, and you need coping tools and mechanisms that need to work for you when I'm not around, right?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
And
and I've said this to my mom a lot. Oh, Dottie's here. I've said this a lot to my mom because she has seen a few different sort of like counselors over the years, and I have been able to identify that some of them are like have not been helpful or great. And so I'm like, Mom, fire them. Like, just don't keep going. And she's like, well, this person's not really helping me. And I'm like, well, then don't go see them again. Like, just go find
yeah,
someone else. Nobody's upset about it. If they're a real professional, they'll understand that it's just not the right fit. And we're all adults, like, find
but
the help that you need. So
even
anyway, that was
I yeah, I
too
think you're
long, but
we
it's important to identify the help that you need. And if you feel like you're not getting the help, find someone else.
I think so many, like, this is a great example of like, again, talking out of my ass, but it feels like, you know, seeking validation, right? Like if my therapist wasn't good for me, my therapist would tell me that they weren't good for me, right? But
sorry, you can, for the listeners, you could probably hear her purring the microphone. Hi, Daddy. I get my cat fix when I come here, so I can go home and be like, actually, I don't want a cat. It's fine.
Just to circle back, like to put the bulk sort of wave tops of my quest.
Yes.
I identified the problem, so I needed therapy. I was on meds for a little bit. The meds, I didn't. And to be clear, there's compounding issues here. There's like the things that I needed to address from my childhood, but there's also the undiagnosed ADHD for most of my life. That compounded issues. So having a diagnosis isn't the fucking the savior.
It's not the solution. Yeah.
But it certainly puts things into sharp relief for you. And if anything, outside of behaving like an absolute asshole or a piece of shit, generally speaking, who you are is just fine. So stop being negative about how your brain operates or how you process things. You don't need a diagnosis to be okay with who you are.
I might just cut that piece of audio and play it over and over until I believe you.
Well, that goes back to my other point where change is a habit.
Change is a habit. Yeah.
So like if I'm adding to this, like part of addressing the problem for me was two things. I had to do it mentally and physically. So mentally, it's how I showed up at these inflection points in the day. So it's the morning before the kids go to school, and it's when the kids come home after school, and then probably, you know, either going or coming from activities and then bedtime, right?
Yeah, throughout the evening. And then I know for me, those times are also like weekends, which
yes,
I joke, like in the summers I turn into a camp counselor. Like it just how you show up in those moments. Yeah.
And no matter what you want to get done, no matter what you want to, you know, this applies to whether you have kids or not. In any interaction that could cause you stress. Maybe it's a parent that you don't like hanging out with, or a sibling that, you know, cut you out of their life, or there's strenuous friendship or whatever, right?
I'm thinking workplace stress and management and having coworkers with different lives and personalities. And yeah,
just don't get caught up in your own bullshit.
Okay.
In the moment, right?
Yep.
So with the kids, you know, if they come home and they're having a bad day and they're all snippy and snotty and attitudey, it would be really easy for me in the past to get sucked into that. Instead, what I do is, okay, like I have this conversation in my head. This is the method.
Okay.
Family's coming home.
Yep.
We don't know what kind of mood people are in. We don't know what kind of day they've had. So let's just go.
We don't know how many kids we're telling them 6, 7 in the playground and they're tired of hearing it. Yeah.
So, you know, they come home. I got a smile on my face. I'm happy to see them if I'm home first, which has been, you know, the case for the last few years, which has been good, right? So I get to be that first thing that they see, and I'm trying to make that
you are their Walmart greeter when they get home. Like you're gonna make or break the transition,
their whole experience
into going. Well, like. And I don't want to say this to like stress anyone out, but like in those moments, and it's a very short window of time. It's like the couple of minutes. I think it's like statistically 4 or 5 minutes when they get home that can totally turn them around or totally derail them.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, you're right. In those moments, you're right in thinking like, it's my time to shine. I'm going on stage. Yeah.
Well, and this is how, like, you know, we talk about, I mentioned a lot of things like, you know, people might not put a whole lot of effort into thinking and processing and being aware of their day kind of thing.
It could be
this hard. Is one of those. Yeah, this is one of those. And this is the change. This is the consistency. This is the habit that I've had to instill, which I think is being put to good use. But, you know, I mentally choose to
Mhm.
be a stable and calm presence when they come home. So whatever mood they're in,
Mhm.
I don't. One of my problems growing up is I used to be responsible for other people's feelings.
Mm.
So if
Mhm.
they were in a bad mood, it was my fault. And
Mhm.
that is one of the things that I've had to
I don't want to. Sorry, can I
undo.
correct you? You're not
Sure, correct
wrong.
my lived experience.
No, you're not wrong.
I'm just being a shithead.
I'm just gonna reword it because what it is that you were taught that you were responsible for other people's feelings,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
You weren't literally responsible,
No,
but
no.
that was your,
That's an
like you said,
important
that was your
understanding.
reality, was that you felt like you were responsible, but in fact you were not. You never were. You shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
And yeah, for you to have felt like that is the beginning of, I don't want to say the healing that you're in, but a part of the quest.
Part of the quest. And I
Yeah.
really think that that's what understanding those things, that's what addressing the problem was.
Yeah.
So for me, I could understand that yeah, I was just by virtue of how I was raised, the time and area we grew up in, how things worked, like you're socialized along the way to believe certain things. And
Hmm.
for me, it all came to a point where things were no longer like, um I think part of the reason was my job slowed down a lot too.
Okay.
No, that's not even true. I was so busy at work that it was easy to pretend a lot of this stuff didn't exist, and it wasn't.
Like disassociate or
Not really disassociate, but like we'll just deal with that later kind of thing.
okay, put it off.
Or
This is the problem for another time or
not even recognizing that there was a
ah.
problem.
Okay,
But
okay.
then, I went on deployment, and then I came back to a very busy job at work, and then I came to Kingston.
Mhm.
So the family move plus this insane course that I was on for the year, I think my body was like, we have to
We're tapped out,
deal
bro.
with this now.
Yeah.
And that's what sort of generated this whole, okay, there's a problem, so go to therapy and start fixing it.
Mhm.
And then addressing the problem was understanding things like I'm not responsible for other people's feelings.
Mhm.
I
Would you
certainly,
say that was one of the first things that you were retaught? Like you, not that
I
you need
feel
like steps, but I'm just wondering, like, did you have an aha moment along the way, or were there a lot of little aha moments, or was it like
I feel like for me,
the whole
there's
thing?
always tons of little aha moments. I was writing a bunch of notes for this episode, and I feel like there's so many little nuggets of wisdom that I've taken on this quest. But
Along the way, yes.
one of the things that like I have to really remember is that there is no one thing that applies to everything.
Mhm.
So there's no like, you know, changes a moment isn't a moment in time. It's a habit. Like that doesn't apply
Yeah.
to everything. Sometimes change is a moment in time
Yeah.
where you just had an aha moment and things clicked and you no longer struggled with that thing anymore. I don't
Yeah.
know how to explain it. I don't know how it works. I just for me, I think it was a lot of these little nuggets that I pulled out. And so I'm an overthinker. I'm
Yep.
a pretty smart guy. So I spent a lot of time in my head. I used to overthink the problems.
Oh yeah.
But now I think I just really kind of just like to mull things over and try to this is how I address part of the problem is what's the thing that I'm upset about or what's the
Mhm.
thing that's causing me discomfort, and then I try to ask myself why. And 9 times out
Mhm.
of 10, like for me, it'll boil down to things like lack of self-confidence or poor self-image or all of these things that weren't reinforced for me as a kid. And if I had to say there was one, this is going to sound cheesy as fuck,
Mhm. Go for it.
um, but
Love
I
cheese.
think I think of the few things that I think could be boiled down to one sort of unifying philosophy is that, uh, and I have to reverse engineer this, all of our concerns and doubts and worries about the past or the present or the future are all rooted in fear.
Mm.
They don't exist in any other realm of your life except for
Yeah.
fear. Your
Yeah.
fear of loss, fear of, uh, you know, poverty, fear of
feeling left out, feeling different
fear of
feelings.
isolation.
Yeah.
It's all some sort of a fear.
Yeah.
And if we take that a step further, you can realize that even in spite of all of those fears, you can be fine.
True.
You are only afraid of those things because you've been taught to be afraid of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be alone, and you can be poor, and you can be all of these things, and it can still be okay. Now,
Yeah.
if you're all those things, I'm sure you go ask a homeless person on the street, they're going to say they're not okay. And that's probably very true.
Yeah.
It would take a very like Buddha-like person to be in that situation and still be okay with life. But
yeah,
I believe fundamentally we could all get to that level.
sure.
And I suppose that's the quest I'm on, is to be as close to that as possible, in the sense that I can take myself out of a situation, recognize my own value regardless of what's going on. I'm thinking about, work things. You make a mistake at work and you get chewed out and you're having a bad day, right?
Yeah.
But you could also separate yourself.
Yeah.
You could also not let it affect you, because you can, in and around all of that, you're hearing these voices in your head saying, see, you fucked up again, you can't do this, you don't understand what's going on, you'll never get promoted, blah blah blah, like whatever it is.
It turns into a big negative thought spiral. Yeah.
You tell that fucking dog to shut up.
I assume, Alex.
Tell Dottie to keep it down.
And Dottie's barking. Like hey, Dottie's barking. Yeah. There's also there's 2 dogs, Willie and Cosmo, that live here. Yeah, and they're just, once you say hi to them, they'll stop barking. But until that time, they're just like,
to me.
Hey, who's in my house? And they're small. But yeah,
I
they're
mean,
cute.
That's what I said. We were in Mexico, and like the amount of, I love going to, bigger cities or all inclusive places, and it's just this desperate need for people to be seen. They're all going, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
Now, if you can take yourself and not need to be seen, almost all of your problems will go away.
Totally. Yeah.
Because now you're not worried about what you look like. You're dressing for yourself because
your
you feel
ego,
good about how you wear. Now you're all of a sudden you're lining up how you're living with how you feel, and you feel a lot better, a lot less social pressure, a lot less anxiety, because you're not worried about how am I going to look, how am I going to. If you stop caring
how you're
about
performing
other people,
for other people all the time,
perform for yourself.
Yeah,
that's it. And then of course the third one in this is respond appropriately. If you can take yourself from a position of reacting to things and put yourself in a position of responding to things, which I think we've mentioned before.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that gives you just a lot more power and control over what's going on, instead of the situation controlling it. Like, think about all the times where you've kind of you reacted angrily to a situation.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
In that moment, you put it zero thought. Your brain, your body just reacted, and you had zero control over it. Now we extend that further, and you get into situations like, domestic violence and abuse, where people are like, well, that's because like you're living in that level where you're letting the whole world dictate how you behave.
Yeah.
And how you and react to things.
I think that also ties into patterns of how you believe you are. Oh gosh, how do I say this the way that I'm thinking it in my brain? You're like, in the same way that we were saying earlier that you were taught that you were responsible for someone else's feelings. People who are in those kinds of relationships like believe those, not those same thoughts, but like believe in a similar kind of pattern of thinking, where they're like, well, this is how I'm treated. This is just my situation. Perhaps I don't know. Obviously I haven't been in that, but being on the outside looking in, I feel like those are the kind of patterns and actions and behaviors that I think people adopt. And whether that was taught to them just by watching, like I think if a kid watches that, they're probably much more likely to end up in a situation like that, or um, probably a combination of all kinds of other things, but like believing that that is you, right?
Mhm.
You identify with that kind of behavior. Anyway, it's just interesting for a multitude of reasons. But yeah, I don't want to derail. We should get back on
Oh,
that.
we've
But yeah,
derailed
that
a
was
million times.
that was your
We
third point, correct?
so that was sort of the chapters of the quest, the parts of the quest.
Okay, that you've
Right?
been on so far.
Well, and now it's just the continual quest is to
Apply the knowledge.
we'll fight your demons.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
fair.
Like there's like we talked about. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to just white knuckle and push through it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to a point where you're a little bit more comfortable with sharing the space with these demons
Mm-hmm.
and not responding to them, but letting them be there, and what that actually looks like is when you're angry, you let yourself be angry.
Mm-hmm.
When you're upset and pissed off and frustrated, let that happen. When you're
Yeah.
scared and insecure, let it happen, but remind yourself that this isn't permanent.
Yeah.
It's not going to last forever, and you're going to be okay.
I think that's a big one. I think there's a lot of I know personally it's going to be okay is like a scary thought. Like, is it going to be okay? Is it? I
So
still don't believe it. I don't have
there's
certainty that things are going to be okay. They probably will. I mean, so far so good, but like, yeah,
this is like
it's proof positive, right? Like what has happened is what will likely continue to happen. But
we're you know, we're not derailing now, but you know, sometimes when they change the
Yeah.
tracks, now we're going on a different
going
destination.
we're changing tracks. Okay.
Um,
Uh,
we talk about in the military all the time. We say trust is the currency of the realm.
Okay.
For a lot of different
The
reasons.
realm, very quest-like.
Very quest-like. And I know we've talked about this one before. And this is really what faith boils down to if you're a religious person.
Okay. Yep.
This is what faith amounts to. This is what unconditional love is.
Ooh.
Is trusting.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that holds a lot of people back, you talked about sort of you know, your baseline experience, and so this is how you understand the world works. So if you grow up and your dad hit you all the time, but he also said I loved you, because he probably did, but he also hit you, you grow up kind of conflating these two things, and so you think
people who love me hit me.
Yes. And if I'm in a healthy relationship, real healthy, and they're not hitting me, they don't love me, or I'm not attracted. So you could be like an absolute 10 out of 10. And if your partner is not beating the shit out of you, you might feel like trash.
Right. You're like,
so
these two things must exist to be true.
Yeah. So you have to, what we do is we hold on to things. That's called, there's a great scene in that 70s show where they were trying to get a bag of weed out at a cabin or something like that. And it was in this little flower vase pot kind of thing. And Kelso grabbed it, but then Red and Kitty showed up, and he's got this thing. He couldn't get his hand out of the pot.
Right.
And it ended up being that the reason why he couldn't get his hand out is because he was still holding onto the bag of weed. So he was making a fist, and if he just like let it go, he could have his hand out.
Yeah.
And so many of our issues come from just holding on to things that we just need to let go of.
You know what? You bring up a very interesting thing, because I think a lot of people do this after Christmas. You feel like your house is so full of stuff that you start getting rid of all the old stuff. And I'd already started a little bit before Christmas. But then after, it was just like, all these Santa gifts need room now. So we got to make space. So I'm putting things together. And then I don't know where I came across this, but there's someone, it must have been a podcast. This person was talking about how there's like an energy in holding on to things also, where like, if I hold on to this, I don't know, ticket from a movie from 30 years ago. Like, why would I still have that? But if I did, and I'm still holding on to it, like, I'm not only like mentally not letting go of that, but I'm physically and mentally like cluttering
Hmm.
how I'm going forward. And then the way that he described it was like, imagine you're like pulling on a rubber band and the rubber band is filled with like all the things that you can't let go of.
Yeah.
What happens when you do let go of it is you're going to be like propelled, right? And the more things, I'm not giving a very good description of this, but like the more things there are, the more energy of propulsion will push you in the other direction when you finally
Yeah.
let go and give space and room for all the new things to come in. Because not only are you being held back by them, right? Like think of like pulling on something and it's pulling against you, and the weight of everything you're carrying is pulling against you. Like that's a lot of weight.
Hmm.
Uh, but it's also preventing new things from coming because you don't have the space or the capacity to bring those new wonderful opportunities into your life. And so if you were to let go, not even everything, you don't have to let go of all your shit because like let's face it, we can't let go of all of our shit. Uh, let go of some of it, and then you give yourself a little relief, and then also space to for new stuff to come in. So it's like a two-way street, so to speak. Like you're it's a double bonus.
It's a,
A win
I
win win.
I really like that, and
Yeah.
I think
I
I
hope
can.
I illustrated that well for people listening.
Yeah, you're we I think you can let go of everything.
The goal, yeah, the goal and enlightenment, like if the goal of life is enlightenment and or at least finding clarity or whatever that might look like. Yes, you can let go of everything. That would be
Mhm.
part of the thing. Yeah.
You mentioned clarity, and I mean, I think we continually try to add clarity in the show when we explain these things, and I'm not quite sure we do it so well because I
We're
want to
just
go
muddling
back.
it
Yeah,
worse. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like you talked about the we got derailed again.
Shocker.
When this is what you know and this is how you're raised and that's what your expectations are,
Yep, yep.
and you carry that forward into your life, and a
Hmm.
crazy, like a dumb example, but I think it illustrates it well, is things like, you grew up in a home, and if your parents, had a specific cleaning routine, you're going to bring that forward with you. So if your
Hmm.
mom scrubbed the baseboards every other Sunday, well, you're gonna be, one day you're gonna have an argument with your partner being like, you never clean the baseboards, blah, blah, like, and you're gonna
And
have
you'll
this
be like, who
conversation.
cleans baseboards? Yeah.
Or she, we're not making
Or
any
she.
assumptions here.
That's true.
um
It's
and
true.
it's like, these are the things I'm asking people to be aware of and question. Why do I feel the need to do this?
Yeah.
What happens if I don't do this way? You
Right.
can design your own life, is what it really amounts to. You can decide what's
What?
important to you and focus on that. You can
Yeah.
let go of all, because the reason why,
The
you talk
preconceived
about,
notions and expectations
we
of our
talk about
forefathers.
one of the tropes that you see in movies and TV all the time is closure when someone breaks up. Again,
Hmm.
all you're actually looking for in closure is still, again, validation. It's
Validation
not
and
you,
another,
it's
maybe
me.
another argument.
Well, yeah, maybe
Just
maybe
one
you're one of
more
those
for the
people.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can, we also suffer from continuity bias. So when things happen that we don't want to happen, or things happen unexpectedly, like delays in an aircraft, say when you're going on a trip,
Hmm.
oh, whatever, that's a bad thing. We have already projected in our mind what the future up to a certain point is going to look like, and then
Okay.
this thing happens and it interrupts all of it.
Expectation. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's continuity bias. We just
Okay.
expect it
Okay.
to keep going this way. When something happens contrary to that, it's automatically bad. A
Hmm.
delay, of course, is bad, right?
Hmm.
But our flight was delayed twice, there and back, and in each instance we arrived at the airport sooner than
Okay.
if we departed at our original time. We were
Okay.
late.
Okay.
And on our way back, we had zero lineups for customs or baggage. Like,
So you
it's
just
just
sailed through.
a small example of how, initially perceived negative in your life is actually a positive down the line.
Yeah.
Because so what this all boils down to is if you want more peace in your life, trust more, which
Ooh.
means
Are you saying trust the process?
trust everything. Trust yourself,
Yeah. Yeah.
that you've made
Ooh.
good decisions, like the people
Okay.
you have. This all fucking assumes that you've got some sort of self-confidence or some sort of self-respect, and you're not going to let people walk all over you. You have to be there first. But like I look at my relationship with Cassie, and it's kind of flourished in the last year because I've let go of a lot of things that were holding me back, like self-doubt and insecurity and all this kind of stuff.
And are you feeling that like launch into the next part of your quest?
No, you're never going to feel the I don't think you're going to feel a launch ever.
Okay.
But you might feel lighter when you're taking those little steps.
Big relief.
Yeah. And the trust is like, I trust that, again, cheesy and dumb, but I trust that I give my heart entirely to Cassie.
Mhm.
And the trust part is I get to love her unconditionally. I don't
Mhm.
have to worry about my thoughts or feelings. Now, spoiler alert, you still do. You're just better at silencing them when they show up, right? It no longer impacts your behavior. You're responding instead of reacting.
Yeah. You listen to the, I don't say the right voice, but like I often have this image of like the angel and the devil on the shoulder, so to speak. And it's like,
that's a great analogy.
We can just quiet that evil dude for a little bit. Yeah.
Because they're never going to go away. And the further away you get from them, the louder they try to be, right? Until finally they're gone.
They're setting things on fire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're burning the bridges. The bottom line, though, is trust isn't free, right? You don't just trust and all your problems go away. You have to trust and accept that whatever happens moving forward, I'll be okay.
Acceptance is a tricky one for.
So what that amounts to is, I've mentioned this on the podcast before. One of my greatest fears was, Cassie leaving me. That's something that I was resisting. That's something I was holding on to. That was.
Is this something that was like consuming your thoughts regularly, or was it just like occasionally would pop up and you'd be like blah blah blah, but then if you'd have an argument, you're like, oh, that's it, she's leaving.
Yeah, it was more like the second piece. Like it would. It would be just like the occasional rear its ugly head. Hey, let's fight this fight and then carry on, kind of thing. But when you, it's easier to ignore the thing when, like, people think of how do I ignore this because it's just going to be there and I'm going to hear it all the time. But if you don't give it any of yourself, if you don't, but that is all born out of your own ability to go, even if the person that I'm so madly in love with, breaks my heart or betrays me or leaves me or cheats me. This is the royal example. These are not what I'm worried about anymore. It doesn't mean that I'm unlovable. It doesn't mean that someone else isn't going to want to be with me. I won't be alone. Like, these aren't the necessary conclusions of the bad thing that happened to you. And you need to separate yourself from that so that you can give yourself to the thing that you want to experience and enjoy. I'm not with Cassie because the tax benefits, or you know what I mean, like, right? It's so why hold on to these things that and this applies to anything in life, right? There are things that you're worried about for no fucking reason. If you wanted this experience, have it. But if you're going to be worried about it, either figure out a way to be not worried about it or don't have the experience. This is why people get in relationships that they should not be in.
That they are not right for them.
Yeah. And if you're in a position where you're willing to be that vulnerable, you're going to be a lot better at choosing who to be vulnerable with.
I think so, yeah.
So it's actually a reinforcing spiral upwards. Like,
yeah, I wanted to support what you were saying. I'm doing my yoga training, and while I'm off of work, taking a few weeks off, I'm trying to get my 30 hours of classes in. And I did a meditation class yesterday, and she had a lot of insights But one of the things that she talked about during the meditation was, or sorry, to preface that meditation, she was saying, like, if you feel an itch, take note of it.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, my shoulder's itchy. What's up with that? And she's like, you're allowed to think about that. And she kind of later tied it into, what is it that makes it, like, at what point does it become unignorable, right?
Mhm.
Like, it might go away, right? But a lot of, like, our, I don't want to say our negative turns, but like, I think it applies to a lot of like the bigger itches, if you will, of life,
Mhm.
where you were kind of describing, like, this negative thought spiral could be described as an itch in your brain.
Yeah.
And by scratching it, you might like go start a fight. Right? Like,
Yeah.
be like, this is pissing me off so much, I'm going to go start a fight about it. Well, what if you didn't do that? What if you didn't scratch it and you just like took note of it? Or like, well, this is weird. I'm having this negative thought spiral again. What's up with that? You might give yourself just enough space to be able to say, like, I should have a tactful conversation about this if it's really bothered. Like, if you think it's founded on something actually valid, or just be like, this is all made up in my own head and I don't need to do anything about it. And maybe I'll journal about it. Maybe I'll get it out in some other way. But just giving yourself kind of that space was kind of the point she got to with this metaphorical or maybe literal itch, especially in a meditation where you're trying to kind of like quiet your thoughts and take note of the things happening without actually responding or reacting or whatever to any of them, right? I hope that came across helpful.
I think that's exactly what, because I think part of the issue that we have in creating that separation is wanting those feelings to go away.
Mm-hmm.
But
And they might
oftentimes, you know, when like your kids haven't thrown a fit,
the
only solution is to not respond to the fit.
Mm-hmm.
If you get involved, you're only going to make it worse, or you're going to end up bribing your way out of the issue, right? Like,
yeah, and then you're like, wait, I don't want to deal with your feelings right now, or maybe you can't provide the right kind of support or help, and so you have to be able to identify that too.
Yeah, and but to that end, it's like sometimes letting a thing be
and
not giving it attention, just being there with it is all that's required. Like these
just
things,
sit with it. Yeah,
the great effort that it takes to battle with, and these, like, I mean, again, a lot of people will be suffering from far more severe anxiety and depression than I've ever dealt with.
sure.
And that's fucking scary. But the bottom line is,
because you're like, I couldn't deal with more than this, right? You probably feel like this is the max capacity that I can handle.
I'm convinced of two things. Number one, I think by and large we have the capacity to manage whatever we're given. For a lot of different reasons, I think that's true. I don't think you're challenged with things that you can't manage. So if you are in a situation and it's really bad, believe in yourself, because the universe does. It wouldn't give you this if it didn't think you can handle it. And then the number two thing, like my whole therapeutic quest, that whole piece of the journey was
the therapeutic quest.
It was really a self-actualization thing, and I hate saying this shit out loud because it sounds super duper tropey and trendy. And
we're in a time where people are trying. We're putting in the effort. We're putting in the thought. We're going to the therapies. We are talking about these things out loud. When just 10 years ago, this would have been a massive no-no. Like, people didn't even talk about postpartum 10 years ago, right? So, and to me, that's like a baseline, identifiable, obvious issue that nearly every woman deals with. So it's like, we've come a long way in a short amount of time. So I would say, like, don't not say the things because of our preconceived notions and thoughts and ideas about the words. Like, just this is one of those things where let other people use their own judgments on whatever it is you're saying. If you feel like what you're saying is like voicing your thoughts and concerns, like, that's more important, right?
Yeah.
Like, get it out of your system, so to speak.
And I mean, even then too, like if you're one of those people that's you know, you're quiet, you're introverted, you don't like that, like your response is not required. They're one of those things that I've taken away is I
I
honestly,
see.
like when
If
I'm
you're
texting
like, I
people,
must participate.
yeah, like
Okay.
I get messages in this group chat I'm with all the time, like, are you dead? I'm like, no, I'm just
Introverted.
participate in this. I don't need to participate in this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's fine. Whatever. It's nothing bad. But
And I think in those moments, those people are just, they want your interaction, right? Like, they're seeking your interaction with you because you're their friend. So they're
yeah,
probably like, hey, I just want to hear from you. And this is my way of instigating a conversation together, right?
hmm and so I think if you can, I guess the thing I was saying was this sort of self-actualization quest. Part of my problem was just being super interdependent on other people in order to
Mm-hmm.
feel good about myself, in order to feel like I've accomplished things, or in order to feel like I'm contributing or whatever, right? All
Mm-hmm.
of these are really unnecessary ways of thinking. I think, again, barring you being an absolute like stone cold dummy, or just a piece of shit person,
Mm-hmm.
because those I think are choices. I think you can definitely always improve your level of intelligence, and you can improve your level of awareness. So
Like,
I think
it's
people,
the, YouTube is free, libraries are free, you can access information anywhere, anytime. Yeah, totally.
yeah. So like, I do recognize there are a lot of barriers to getting to this point in time, but I
Mm-hmm.
think we can all, you know, we can all achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
It's recognizing that who you are is plenty. It's more than enough. We
Hmm.
get so consumed with how we look and how we interact with other people, and how
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, again, and we've mentioned this in the show, all of this is just colored by my own experience and my own observations. But you know, I spent so much time worried about how I was, you know, being perceived by people around me,
Mm.
that it made it impossible for me to operate in any other way. And that's why I was getting sucked into these negative thought spirals, or being, you know, not as aware around my children as I should be in responding to them, providing uh providing the stability and the calmness that they need in their lives, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
really
The
just
role of a
really,
parent,
and that's
through
why,
their eyes. Yeah.
and that's why, like, it all, everything boils down to, like, if you can look in a mirror and just say to yourself, like, because I think what a lot of people will do is, oh, I just need to lose a few more pounds, or if I could just
Oh God. Yeah.
be better at this. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about this earlier. You're never going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All you can do is be more consistent and put in an honest effort, and that's the noble work.
The
That's
showing
no
up,
one's,
the
yeah,
intention,
and
the
that's what the
effort.
trust
Yeah.
is, because now I get to put in a good effort, and I have a fucking safety net if I fall, and that's Cassie, and she's going to say, hey man, you had a bad day, and that's okay. We still
Mm-hmm.
love you. We still feel safe around you, blah 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 blah. And it goes
Mm-hmm.
the opposite direction, right? Like, if you can let go of the things, if you can believe that someone is with you because they want to be, and if you're in a
Whoa.
relation, like,
What?
yeah, also spoiler alert, if you're not in that relationship, you should get out of it.
That's
You're
not the
far
right
better
one.
off. You're
Yeah.
far better off on your own than you ever with the wrong
Mm-hmm.
person. I'd rather that for you than the
Yeah.
royal you,
Yeah.
than
Yeah. Yeah.
anyone
Yeah.
else. But anyway, that's a
Can I say
huge
something
fucking,
that is totally unrelated, off topic, that will illustrate what goes on in my brain sometimes while we
uh,
have these conversations?
yeah,
So you were saying, like, if we put too much focus on how we look and dress and act and blah blah blah, and then I'm listening to you, but in the back of my brain there's a second channel
Yeah.
that I'm tuning into, is another frequency if we were on the radio, and it's going, blind people, do they care about how they look or dress or feel? And then also, oh God, what was my point with all this? It'll come back to me. Anyways, but yeah, I started thinking about blind people in the background. And I was like,
It's the radio, you know, like in
Jenna,
like
get back to the get back to the main channel, bro.
I think that's a great way to discuss the ADHD mind, which is it's just like the radio scanning all, you hear all the conversations all the
the
time,
channels,
plus all the noise that doesn't get filtered out.
Yeah.
It's insane. But you know, so we'll wrap it up here. We're gonna do a
I
part
think
2 of this because
we're gonna have to, yeah, because we've
we'll do
covered a
your side.
bunch, but I think there's a ton of more
Yeah.
of this to discuss for sure.
If I could give anyone a takeaway from my point of view that I think that, you know, might help them on their down days, they're gonna happen. You're gonna have down days, and that's something you need to.
That's life. Yeah.
You have to embrace it like an old
Yeah.
friend and just say, "Hey, pal,
Hey, bad day.
today let's be morose, let's be melancholy, let's be somber, and that's okay."
Mhm.
And then number 2 is just be okay with who you are. If you don't like something about you, the impetus is on you to identify that and change it. And that can happen. You can have anything you want. You can be anything you want, air quotes. But the only thing that can make that happen is you. And if you believe in yourself, like, this is also cheesy, but if you believe in yourself.
No, and the reason that we say those things, if you believe in yourself, like, this is all made up. I know we talk about this a lot. This world, the life that we live, it's all pretend. Somebody made this up. It's infrastructure that humans put together, and we're all part of it, and we're all part of the system. You can just go do the thing. Like, if something's holding you back that's not you, let that go. Because if it's somebody else's opinion, if it's somebody else's thought, they don't live your life. They don't have to sleep on your pillow at night. Like,
they don't get to decide.
Why would you let them dictate your choices and thoughts and feelings? Like, don't.
That was like the third or fourth thing I wrote on my list was we're all just playing a game. Don't take things too seriously. And I agree with you. So many, like, we get told things growing up by adults. We're like, okay, Roger out. That's the truth. But
this is the quest.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
I even get dequested to request.
You have to recognize.
Sorry, I'm checking my parking quickly while I'm here. I'm not ignoring you. Okay, I have plenty of time. Sorry. Oh fuck! I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter.
You said all this is made up and pretend, and
I don't know. I found for me, so many of the voices in my head kept me from making decisions or doing things or trying things. And if I'm not unhappy with how things are or how things turned out, again, this is going back, like, trust the process, right? You have to suck a few eggs every now and again. That's just part of life. And I generally like to think that you are doing that for the experience that it provides you. So welcome it and embrace it and not push it away. Don't resist it, kind of thing. Something about the fucking game thing killed me. I don't know. I feel like we get sucked into these narratives.
Yeah.
The news tells us, shows us what they want us to see in the world, and there's almost nothing that's 100% unbiased in any kind of media anymore. So I think more and more.
I don't think it can be. We as a society, as a culture, I think we're always like, I want the unbiased perspective. You're never going to get it. It's always going to be somebody's perspective. Even if I go out and I record something, it's going to be my perspective.
Yeah. But the point of that is,
like, that's the whole point. We're all wearing different lenses. Anyway, yeah.
The value of acknowledging that, though, is that, again, it comes back to, I think in many cases we're looking for validation from other people.
Oh,
oh
1000%. Yeah.
yeah, you guys are good podcasters, or you're a good mom, or whatever. Like, all you have to do, because if you're living for that kind of reinforcement, and I think there's nothing wrong with wanting encouragement or support, and
Yeah.
hearing these things from other people that you value is very,
Yes.
like,
It's great.
beneficial to the
Yeah.
cause. So for all
Dopamine.
those people out there, words of affirmation, throw them around a bit.
It's great. Yeah. But you
um
can't live by that metric, right?
no, and you should be able to live without it.
Yeah.
I do like words of affirmation. I tell this to Cassie all the time.
Yeah.
Goes a long way when you come up to me and she does this. Like, I'll have these conversations with the kids,
Mhm.
and like, William was stonewalling me because he didn't want to go apologize to Olivia, because she slipped and fell on the water in the bathroom floor. And I
Mm.
said, you need to go apologize, because it was his water that he didn't clean up after his
He
shower.
didn't clean up. Oh.
I was like, listen, my fault for not telling you that you needed to clean up water on the slippery tile.
Yeah,
That's my bad.
I didn't communicate this to you. Yeah.
And I was just like,
Or
I was
even
just
just
having
have a conversation, and it's hard to relay that to a 6 and 8-year-old, but yeah, like be like, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that leaving the water on the floor would cause you to slip.
well, and that's it. I
Right?
said, we're talking about accountability. He goes, I didn't do anything. I said, I know. And you're not in trouble, and no one's mad at you. But the fact of the matter is through your actions, this happened, and we just need to, and it's not because that situation mattered, but it was an opportunity to
Yeah.
start a discussion about accountability, right? He's 8 years old. He'll be 9 in August. Like, I don't know. No one fucking knows, but I'm taking a stab at it, right?
Yeah. I think what you're maybe trying to do is be like, hey, he's going to be on his own in a few years. Like, I mean, I don't think you guys are the kind of parents that will do this, but some parents are like, can't wait for my kid to be old enough to walk themselves to school so I don't have to. Right.
Yeah.
So, in an effort to recognize that at some point he's going to be doing things on his own, you're trying to instill in him morals and values. And I think what I'm hearing is you want to try and instill accountability into his little brain, so that if he is ever faced with a situation, maybe at work or in a relationship or in the future at all, that he has the tools, right? We talked a bit about this through therapy, like getting the tools in those 10 sessions. You're trying to instill in him in the daily sessions of parenting that, like, you know what? You didn't do anything wrong, but the fact that you didn't clean up the water on the floor caused this to happen, and ergo
Yeah.
your sister got hurt. So yeah, it's like, oh shit, recognizing like I do have an impact on other things. There's a bit of like a butterfly effect thing, without obviously calling it that to kids, because they'll be like, a butterfly effect, what? But more or less that's like what I think what you were explaining to him.
100%. Just like, hey, here's something to think about. And that was the tone I talked to him in. And he was so upset he was crying, because he thought, like, yeah, he's getting in trouble, but like,
he feels shame. Yeah.
A little. And that's why I was like, you know what, you didn't. I kept reminding him, you didn't do anything wrong, and you're not in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. We had a hug about it afterwards, just like to reinforce it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Cassie told me, and she sent me a message, but she said you handled that really well.
Oh,
so like,
yeah.
I was, this very new experience for me to feel like I've done the good job the right way. Well,
yeah.
So I was in a place where, I was happy to just walk away from that situation knowing I did okay. But it meant a lot to me that Cassie took the time out of her day to remind me that from where she's standing, she's pretty proud of me too. And that's the trust, that's the giving in, that's the letting yourself be who you are, be the person that people need you to be, and then just I don't know.
Receive all of the praise after God.
If there's any to come. There's
I don't want to erase our whole conversation in this one sentence, but yeah.
My whole thing is that you as an individual should be perfectly content to go through life with zero positive input from other people. I think that's impossible to do.
Able to receive it, because then that's another thing. Maybe we could talk about that too.
Yeah.
Is being able to receive positive and negative information about yourself. But then, yeah, you're right. Being able to live without it, period, is a.
It's funny you said that. We'll knock it on the head here because we're gonna go way over. But
Sure. Yeah.
You know, we talk like receiving positive and negative information is really important.
I'm gonna put that in my notes too.
A lot of people can't receive either. You give them a compliment and they fucking don't think they deserved it or earned it, and then you give them any kind of critical feedback, critical being, not mean or angry, but just, hey, we need to work on this, and then their world implodes around them because all of a sudden every one of their fears has just been validated, right?
Yeah.
This is why we have to stop living for other people's expectations and approval and start to. But all right, we're gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
My side complete. Journey perfect, excellent. Things are going well, and I'm now a 100%. A plus guy. I'm a top notch guy. I'm swell, as they say.
Swell.
And tomorrow, or whenever we do the next recording, we'll talk about your demons and your quests.
My quest. Okay, journey. Sure. Sure. Right. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, and toodles.